Hey everyone, Dan at Ochoco Bushcraft. I'm going to show you guys my favorite tarp setup using the Pathfinder tarp to use in an emergency where I'm not going to have fire. That'd be the one catch to this type of setup, is it would not work real well with a fire, but if you're just trying to get out of the rain or the wind and you're not going to have a fire, this will enclose you in better than most setups. But the thing about it is it's super fast and easy. You don't need a ridge line. And much like a plow point, which you can just tie off to a tree, you tie this one off to a tree. But where the plow point is open on one side, and that's what I would use if I was going to have a fire, this one encloses you on three sides and gives you a door, which the tree, depending on what size of a tree you have, and can control the size of your door. All right, so I'm going to try to do this where you guys can see what I'm doing. So I've got my Pathfinder tarp, which is 8x8, some tent stakes, my little Grand Sportsbrook hand hatchet, and I'm going to face the opening towards the camera. So what I want to do, and on this tarp it doesn't matter because it's square. I have an older video where I did this with a 7x10 rectangle tarp, and on that video I showed you want the long side running crossways behind the tree. But on a square tarp, all that matters is that you get one of the middle tie outs. So this would be my middle tie out, and then you just need a piece of cordage, and I always have some scrap cordage in my pocket. Okay, I'm going to tie this off about the height of my sternum roughly. That's just based on experience. I'll tie it on this side of the tree and my tarp will be on the opposite side. And that's all you need, just a simple double overhand knot. I mean, you can use something different if you want, but a simple double overhand knot will work just fine. Okay, from time to time I'm going to try to readjust the camera so you guys can get the best angle, but I'm going to grab the middle tie out in the back and I'm going to stretch it back whatever angle I want it. I can pull it to the right, left, any direction I want to make, you know, better coverage from the wind, rain, or whatever, or if I'm trying to get my entrance facing the sun. And I can always readjust quick and easily. So back, middle, tie out first. See? Okay, so the back center is stretched out, staked down, and now I'll get each one of the corners. and the far corner. Okay, so this is what it looks like from the back. Looks similar to a plow point. Big difference is going to be now when we stake down the sides. Okay, so I'm not doing the front yet. This is the front one up here. I'm leaving the front open, so it's the next one back, or if you count from this end, it's the 1, 2, 3, fourth one up, coming this way. But this is going to be your door here, so you're going to stake down this one. And we'll get the other side. Okay, I'm going to give you guys a walk around here. So we haven't finished the front yet, but back is all staked down across, and then all but the front loop, one shy of the front loop I should say, is staked down on each side. So you can see that looks a lot like a tent now. All completely enclosed on 3 sides. Again, right up here to the front is staked down. And here's what it looks like from the front. So the tree becomes part of the door. Now we used a smaller tree here, but if you use a big tree, it will block half the door. And then you can take your other flap and stake it and unstake it as you want to control when you want your door open or shut. So I took this side of the door, this flap, and staked it down right here next to the tree. So if I had a slightly bigger tree, you can see this whole side would be blocked off. This would tuck behind the tree completely, and then all I have is one side that's open to get in and out. So 3.5 sides completely enclosed and protected like a tent. And then your last side you can adjust as you want. So you can open it up, tie it off open if you want sunlight or fresh air coming in, or you can crawl back in here and close it off. And if you lay behind the flap, you're covered on 4 sides. All right, let's take you guys back in here and show you what kind of room I got. Okay, I've got you inside with me. Here's that other flap. I'm gonna close it up. So right behind you guys is the tree and the other flap. I opened that up a little bit to set the camera here, but that comes right up next to this tree. So this side was closed at the entrance. If I pull the flap in here and I'm behind the flap, I have room all the way back to stretch out. I have complete covering. I got covering for my gear. Just lots of room in here. Room to sit up. See that? I've got room to sit up in here. I have my small little Esbit stove. I can set it right here, cook a meal, and you know, I've got room to move around in here. I've got room to sit here at the upper end and carve and do a project if I wanted. But let's see if I can show you guys. See my feet stretch clear back here. I've got all this room. And again, with this flap tucked in and the tree, another opening back here I can tie off. I have cover on almost completely on all four sides. A larger tree, would take care of this little bit of opening that's left. And again, I deliberately face this towards the sun. Things worked out to where the wind is coming from that way, so it's hitting the tarp. I'm completely blocked from the wind, and I'm facing the sun, so I can take this and open this up, and when the sun comes across, I'll catch it in here. So there it is, guys, and this is often called the Holden tent. Usually in the books and things that I've seen it set up in, they're setting it up off a ridgeline. I like setting it up off a tree, you know, if the weather's bad, because the tree gives you half of a door, and if you use a large tree, you can actually seal off one completely, and then the other side, as you open and close the flap, you pretty much completely seal it off too. So it becomes pretty much a tent. So Holden tent makes sense. And again, you don't have any big opening to put a fire in front of. So if I wanted to do a fire for the night, then I would switch over to a plow point and have a fire here off to the side. But if I'm just trying to get out of the wind or the rain, or maybe get a break from the mosquitoes or something, if it's late summer, I'm going to enclose these sides and close the front off as much as I can, and get up in there. And I've got my reflective pad, and actually have a jungle blanket with me today, a snug pack jungle blanket. So stay pretty toasty in something like this in summer, late spring, early fall. If it was again, going to drop down below freezing, I'd switch over to a plow point and just build a fire on the side. But then again, that's pending too, because you got a heavy sideways rain and wind coming in, and you're not able to sustain a fire without getting drenched yourself, or it's going to put the fire out because it's such an intense rain. You're better off in just getting inside something, getting completely out of the wind and out of the rain, and snuggling up for the night. Dan at Ochoco Bushcraft. Take care, everyone.